tell me, Tube, this is going to be your guide on how to use Iron Treads in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a set you haven't seen that I've used here or you think that works really well, let me know about it in the comment section of the video and let's get into it. So earlier on, I did a great Tusk guide too, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. Okay, so we've got a sweeping set to start things off with here. Now, having a look at its stats, we got a nice attack stat and nice speed. So I guess you could compare it a little bit to Great Tusk there. It's got more speed, but not quite as much attack. Still got a pretty good defense stat there and a reasonable health stat, so which absolutely makes it a great physical sweep here. So we're going to be running Jolly on this and max speed and max attack to start it off with, and I'm going to be giving it heavy duty boots here. This set I reckon will work fairly well for every sort of situation for Iron Treads if you want to use it. So, of course, Iron Head is very, very good there. It's going to be stab. We've got 30% chance to flinch the opponent, so a great move. Now, I've got Earthquake on there as well, which is, dual stab is great. Earthquake's going to be hitting really hard. Now, I've given an Ice Spinner, which is, very, very good there for any other, like, grass types or dragon type Pokemon. Anything that's going to be nice or a threat to you, like even ground type, stuff like that. Now, this is a little bit of a spin here. I've given it Terra Water as a bit of surprise, and I've also given it Terra Blast. So Terra Blast Water actually isn't all that bad on Iron Treads, because it sort of gets around quite a few of its counters, especially like ground-type Pokemon. You can hit them hard back there with a Terra Water. They won't even know what day it is, right? So that's going to be like a super, super surprise set on there, and I actually think it's very viable competitively to run this on Iron Treads. I don't even think it's a meme. I think it's going to work like really, really well. But yeah, you could also go, look, you go Terra Steel in there too, but I feel like ground types is going to be hitting you the most there. And you've got that for fire as well, which is going to be nice. So I don't know, give it a go. Like, I definitely think it'll work for sure. So Terra Water being the main sort of little surprise there. As for items, there's quite a few you could run here. I just gave it heavy duty boots because you really want to keep its good speed. Like, that's the good thing about this Pokemon is its speed, and it still hits pretty hard. So, Iron Head is spammable, right? You can absolutely keep nailing the opponents with that, getting those flinches over and over. So, very, very good. Now, some other item options you've got, I'm thinking about Life Orb will be all right there. Expert Belt could be another one too there. It does get quite a few different sort of moves, so that could definitely work. Like, you could have a nice surprise there. Expert Belt, Terra Blast, or if you just want to give it boost energy, that's another one too. That's always good on these Pokemon. And, with the Quark Drive, if you are matching up with Electric Terrain Pokemon or swapping in, it's going to get that boost in its speed, so it's going to make it even faster. So that's going to be really, really good, with the boost energy. So that's something definitely to think about there. You could just outspeed a lot of Pokemon with boost energy and keep going for Iron Head, so it's going to be quite good. Say if a Steel-type Pokemon comes in then for the Iron Head, well, then you can go for Earthquake, so it's pretty good in that aspect. And if you've got any flying types coming in there, well, you can use Ice Spinner against them. Any ground types, boom, you've got Terra Blast. So I feel this is the best coverage you can possibly get on an Iron Tread set. It's just perfect all around, or as perfect as it probably could be for a Pokemon like this. Let's have a look now. We have a bit of, I just whacked the last little bit in special defense or defense. Whatever you really want there, it doesn't, truly matter too much. We're going to have a look at a little bit of a utility set here. So this actually gets Volt Switch, which is kind of cool because you can make this into like a utility sort of set. So I'm going to be running max health and max speed on this. Now, for the purpose of this set, I'm going to give it Rapid Spin and Volt Switch. So this is quite good in coming into clearing out any entry hazards on the field. And say you don't have a very favorable matchup, well, you can just go for Volt Switch, So that's kind of nice there. So it's got some like momentum, you can clear entry hazards. And you've also got Body Press too. So that's an option there too. So it's going to hit like a reasonable amount of damage. And we've got Earthquake too. So some, a couple of just coverage moves there to do some damage. You could change up Body Press if you wanted to. You could give it Iron Head if you wanted to. That's fine. That would work too. But I sort of like having a a super effective sort of like an option there as well for a little bit of surprise. So anything that you could probably run there. Look, I'd probably just run Iron Head, Body Press, or Earthquake on this set. Really, its main role is just coming in, tanking attacks. So it can, with the Assault Vest, it can tank special moves a lot better. Rapid Spin off and Volt Switch out into a more favorable matchup. So that's how you'd be running a more of a utility Assault Vest set. I don't think it's as good as the sweeper, but it does have its purposes. So, if you're looking for something that can, clear out the stealth rocks, it's going to be able to take a hit, that can dish out a bit of damage, definitely give this a go. I did try it, and it worked pretty well, actually. Now, with a Pokemon like this, it does have potential to be bulky on the defensive side and use body press. So I've given this a body press set. So we've got Iron Defense and body press, which is going to be quite nice. And we've got Resto, Chesto, and knockoff there. So, any ghost types come in, we can hit them with knockoff. Now, I've given this one max special defense and max health. The reason I gave it special defense is because if I just give it full defense, it's going to get wrecked when it gets hit by a special move. So that's the reason. Plus, I can easily boost up its defense with Iron Defense and, increase the power of body press. Say I do that against an opponent, right? Okay, I take a bit of damage. Well, then I can just rest it off and then go for body press. So there is that option too. And, if you're running it on electric terrain, that could be quite good there. Or quite bad. So you have to sort of just watch out when you're using rest. You have to be able to use it. But, you've got knockoff there for any ghost-type Pokemon coming into body press. But, I see that set as working well. It's more of a gimmick, of course, compared to definitely the sweeping or the utility sort of set there, Assault Vest, but I could definitely see that one working. I'll be honest, there's probably other Pokemon out there that are a little bit better suited to body press boosting, but this could work. I'd be giving it the fighting as well, fighting Terra type. On the utility one, I'd probably just give it the ground on there too, if I mentioned that earlier on. Now, the next set here I've got this is a little bit more of a meme set, but I've actually tried it and it works quite well. So this actually gets Wild Charge, and with Terra Electric, you've only got one weakness then, which would be pretty cool. And if you're using it under electric terrain, which is going to be hitting very, very hard, that only gives you one weakness, and that's ground. So we're going to be giving Shuka Berry there. So you're baiting out the opponent there, and you you could easily live like one attack there, especially with Shuka Berry. It's got high defense, so you've got a good chance. So even a special defensive one, you might be able to live too. I've given this one to sweeping EVs there with Jolly Nature as the nature there, and max attack and max speed, and knockoff Earthquake and Iron Head for coverage there. But I think that's quite that's quite a surprise there. You probably wouldn't expect a powerful electric type moves from Iron Treads. I have used this Pokemon a fair bit, and a lot of people didn't really expect, say a water type Pokemon comes in, they don't really expect a Wild Charge from Iron Treads. It's just something you don't see all that often. So mainly it's using Iron Head or Earthquake or knockoff or something like that, so not Wild Charge. Wild Charge does expend a lot of health, but if a water type comes in, Terra Electric, Wild Charge with the electric train on the field, that's going to do heaps of damage there. To super effective Pokemon, they're going to get wiped, So that's pretty nice. And then you got the Suka Berry there, in case you got like a speedy Pokemon that comes in, like an opposing Iron Treads, for example, comes in. Well, you could live that and hit them for a bit of damage too with another, opposing Earthquake. So that'd be quite cool. So yeah, there's a Shuka Berry combination there. Now this one is a set I've actually used. This is definitely a troll set, but it's a little bit of fun here. So we've got Steel Roller and Electric Terrain and Ice Spinner. Now both of these moves work based on terrain. So say you set the electric terrain up there, your terrain's on the field. Now, Steel Roller can only be used when there is a terrain on the field, right? So if there's no terrain on the field, it fails. So once you use it, it's got 130 base power. So this is actually its strongest steel type move, its physical move. But once you use that move, it actually clears the terrain out. So then you have to reset the terrain up. Now, Ice Spinner actually still works outside of the terrain, but it also gets rid of terrains too. So that's a bit of coverage there. You could probably give it like something like Earthquake if you really wanted to, if you want more coverage. I've given it Mud Slap, Mud Slap and Bright Batter. So say you got to keep setting that electric terrain up there, you might be able to buy yourself a little bit of time with Bright Powder and Mud Slap, and you keep using the Steel Roller, over and over and over. I've given this one Terra Ground. Matter of fact, you could just give out Terra Steel. That might even be a bit better. But yeah, I see this mainly as Steel, Ground. They're the two main types that I see. I have seen Water a little bit too, but not really Terra Blast Water too much. I have seen Water a little bit there for sort of like its coverage and stuff like that. The EV spread, I've just given it sweeping EVs here. That's going to be working best. So Jolly Nature, max speed, and max attack. Now, this last set here, I'm going to probably do a few more and suggest some teammates and some counters and things like that in a sec. This is absolutely horrendous. So we've got a Pasho Berry Iron Treads. I've called it Special Passion, all right? Watch this. So we got Earth Power, Steel Beam, Electric Terrain, and Thunder. So you want to set that Electric Terrain up there. If there's any like water type moves, you've got your Pasho Berry there, so you'll be able to at least live a hit. And then you can hit them back with a powerful Thunder in the Electric Terrain. You've also got Steel Beam there for a massive, that's the highest actually base steel move that it gets there, 140 base power. And we've got Earth Power there for a bit of coverage. Let me just show you what its special moves are. Actually, no, this is EVs. Like, these EVs are really like, these are a little bit more complicated EVs here because we want to make use, of that Quark Drive if the Electric Terrain is on the field, which it is going to be, right? So we want to boost its special attack. So to achieve a special attack boost with Quark Drive, you have to give it 252 EVs in special attack Modest Nature, 96 speed, and you have to have it 21 in the IVs in defense to achieve one stat lower. So this is a very, very specific build. So I've given this one in speed to. I've actually given this one 25 in speed. I might just adjust that there. So it doesn't really matter as long as you hit below there. So we give it like 266 there. I'll give it a little bit more help. So yeah, so I've given it 266 in speed, 266 in defense. So 72 in speed and 184 in health. So you could probably mess around with the EVs a little bit there, but and such. But as long as this stat is the highest, that way you get you get that Quark Drive boost there, which is exactly what we want there to boost its horrendous special attack. Well, it's not absolutely horrendous. It's not. I guess it's not as bad as Great Tusk, but it's still not very good. Now, some of the special moves that it gets here, let me quickly show you. Just pretend that Electric Train's still on there. So that's it, really. You've got, I've used all these, you got Flash Cannon on there as well. You could also run like a choice spec set on this. I was thinking like that's another option there. That could work. Matter of fact, I think I may have even run this one before. So we've got, yeah, that would work kind of nicely as surprise. We won't worry about getting Quark Drive because I know that's not going to happen. Okay, so yeah, I'd probably go with this Modest Nature. And then you've got Momentum with Volt Switch. You've got Thunder, and then you've got Steel Beam and Earth Power as well. You could get rid of Thunder if you wanted to, but the options are, yeah, they're kind of limited. They're very limited. Maybe you could give it like Terra. You could give it Terra Water to cover some of those weaknesses too. So there you go, an amazing special passion set and a spec set as well. That could definitely work for choice specs. But yeah, some Pokemon that would be good partners there. Anything that's like a bulky water type would work well. Let me have a look at this. Any bulky water type Pokemon, like Donphan, that's a good partner for it. So Donphan here is going to be able to live those water type moves easy, ground type moves. Now Donphan is weak to electric and grass. Well, you got a perfect Pokemon to swap into electric, and grass isn't going to do like heaps to it unless it's like very, very powerful special attacker. But yeah, so Donphan is definitely a Pokemon that could work well with it. Is there any other ones here? Let's have a look here. We've got I mean, that could work too, but yeah, probably Donphan. I don't think this is going to work that well because it is going to be weak. Both of them are going to be weak to ground, so not so much Toxapex. So yeah, I'd suggest Donphan. That'd be a good partner. As for countering this Pokemon, yeah, so it's fast and it attacks very, very quick and hits pretty hard too. Really, something like I'm going to go to the sweeping set as for coverage here. I'd say a bulky water type Pokemon would be quite good for this. So like Donphan, that's quite a good counter. So any really bulky Pokemon that are water, like bulky water type Pokemon will do very well against this. They'll be able to, eat those attacks off, for example, and, hit back pretty hard. Actually, we'll just go water in general. Let me have a look here. You know what? A good one would be, even Vaporeon wouldn't be too bad there either. That could one-shot Iron Treads, like easy peasy, unless it doesn't have, unless it's got like a Terra Water, it's going to get hit like really, really hard there by like a Hydro Pump, or even it's a Hydro Pump, it's going to do heaps of damage that they'll one-shot it, and you know, if it's not running any electric type moves on there, it's going to be a good counter Pokemon too. So any water type Pokemon will do pretty nicely against that. And what about, well, if you're not running Ice Spinner, then you sort of run the risk of any flying Pokemon. Let me bring that up there. I just like to suggest a couple of counters. Okay, here we go. So Corviknight, yeah. So this is a great counter too. So Corviknight is not going to take hardly any damage from Ice Spinner as well. The only move Corviknight has to worry about is if you've got Wild Charge on there. Now, I did a set with Wild Charge. It was quite good, but Corviknight can tank it still. But yeah, Corviknight resists Iron Head. Earthquake doesn't affect it. Yeah, Corviknight is the best counter for Iron Treads. So there you go. If you see a Iron Treads and you're getting wrecked by it, give Corviknight a call and it'll come and help you out there. This is Steel and Flying is like very good typing on it, you know. So it's quite a good counter to a lot of things there. And it can potentially set up on you and just, you know, roost, stall you out and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it does get roost in this game. Yeah, it does get roost. A couple of Pokemon don't get roost anymore. That's why I said that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me just go over one more sort of... we got here. Iron Treads. Let me see what it offers in doubles here, just for any doubles players. I like to suggest like a few double sets too. So, we do have Rock Slide here, which is alright. We do have Earthquake too, which is good. So both those moves are going to be handy in doubles. Just thinking here, do we get... Now, if you're not so wanting a spread move there for a ground, you could go Stomping Tantrum. That's another option too, but it's going to be kind of weak. So yeah, I'd be inclined to probably, you know, run it with a partner of Protect or Levitate. So that would probably be what I would do there. Now let me have a look here quick. There's not a lot you can really do here for it for like support really. If you really wanted to set Electric Terrain up, you could, like, for, you know, for support and stuff like that. That's an option there, but I'd be using Rock Slide and Earthquake because they're not nice moves on the physical side. And you've got stuff like Heavy Slam isn't really that great on it. Iron Head is like immensely better in most like situations. So I'd run Iron Head too, and you could just give it like Protect or something like that. That's what I would probably go if you want to use this Pokemon in doubles. That would be there we go, EVs here. Yeah, you want it to be going as fast as possible. That's probably what I would do there. And you could give it like... So you've got Rock Slide. You've got Boost Energy. Clear Amulet would be good too there. That's another good move you could actually use against it. And I'd probably go... I'd go Terra... You could go Terra... Actually, you might even try something cool like Terra Rock, you know. That would be cool. But the only thing you have to worry about that is you're probably going to still get hit by, like, your weaknesses, like, you know, ground, water, all those sort of things. So if you don't want to do that, you could just keep it with ground as normal. Or you could go Terra Steel as well. So that would at least not make water super effective against it. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for Iron Treads. Not much more to explain. This Pokemon really, it's best as, like, to summarize everything, it's best as a speedy sweeper there. So making use of Iron Head, Earthquake, and, you know, I've got the Terra Water on there, which would, you know, work too. Let me get rid of the Wild Charge there. And Ice Spinner. This is probably the best set that I would suggest on running it. You could run Wild Charge on there if you really wanted to, but I feel like this is the best coverage for this Pokemon. And, yeah, you could have Wild Charge, but for example, with the Pokemon like Corviknight, you're probably not going to be one-shotting it anyway, so it's best just to swap it in and, you know, when it's actually going to win. So Corviknight's probably a good counter for this. I'd say that's best. And yeah, this is going to absolutely wreck everything. That it outspeeds. It's going to be hitting hard. It's going to be flinching, and it's going to be quite a difficult Pokemon to get around there. But if you hit it on the special side there, and if it has to rely a little bit on flinch there. So, you know, if it doesn't get that flinch, it, you know, starts taking hits, it's kind of bad there. And eventually you sort of get like worn down. Now, if it's not running heavy duty boots either, you could definitely get outsped by entry hazards or worn down by entry hazards. That's another thing too. This can get shut down by any Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Will-O-Wisp Pokemon. So, I mean, you could run Lumberry on there. That is a little bit more of a gimmicky option there. There are better items, but if you're really worried about getting burned, you could run Lumberry. That's always a nice item to run on physical attackers. Yeah, I don't think there's too much more to add to this Pokemon. Nope, I don't think there's much more I can do here. I'd like to discover all sort of possibilities. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Iron Treads. Hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any other movesets you want to add to Iron Treads, make sure you let me know about it in the comment section. And there'll be one more guide coming up a little bit later on. Peace out, people.